Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. I want to tell you two quick stories and then we'll bring it back to Jade Helm because that seems to be a popular topic these days. First story is this. I was working for a government organization, Cubicle Land, right? And I made friends with a guy. And he used to call me over to his desk and he'd go, Joe, come here, look at this. And he'd have it up on his computer. And he would show me something about, the Bilderbergers meeting or something about the Illuminati or something about, the council of however many hundred it is, whatever. And so he would constantly show me stuff. Can you believe what they're doing, man? Look at this. All these guys are meeting and they're deciding our future. And, he would go off and many of you know the truth, the conspiracy theory, pick your flavor, about these different organizations and people and things like that, right? And so finally I kind of got tired of it. And I said to him, hey, I won't say his name. I said, dude. I didn't say dude, but I said, all right, so what are you going to do about it? He's like, well, you can't do anything about it, man. They're all powerful. They're all billionaires, or they all control, blah, they're all bought and paid for it, whatever thread he was on at the time. And I said, yeah, but what are you going to do about it? Because you see, this guy was not a prepper. He was aware as far as, what was going on and maybe outside of what most people know about, but he wasn't really doing anything about it. And so I told him one day, I said, hey, bud, dude, you can't affect what the Illuminati does or doesn't do. Well, we got to let people know, man. Okay. You can't affect what they do or don't do, but you can affect what you do. And you can affect what happens to you and your family to a degree. And so I started talking to him about preparations, and I would say, well, if they're going to do this and this is going to happen, they're controlling the food supply, Monsanto, or, whatever. I'm like, okay, so how much food do you have in your house? And boom, and ended up, he became a pretty hardcore prepper. He's got a lot of food and guns and ammo and, yada, yada, yada. And so I told him that, and that worked. Another quick little story, and again, I'm going to bring these together. I was at a gun show. I had a beard. I had recently retired from the military, and I came to a table of the militia, right? And there was some militia colonel there. He had his BDUs on and his colonel stuff, and he was very serious, very ramrod straight. And I waited till there was nobody at his table because I didn't want to have this conversation in an embarrassing way with him. And I said, so I've been looking at your literature, and you say here that the purpose is to, be there in case that the local authorities need you. And he goes, well, that's right. And he talked kind of like that too. And he said, well, that's right. If there's a natural disaster or if there's some kind of big crime wave or, it's not beyond the realm of possibilities that America could be invaded. And then he goes off on, the Chinese and Long Beach, Longport, whatever in California. So I brought him back and I said, okay. I said, so here's the deal. Either that's the truth and that's why you guys have a militia, so that you can assist the authorities in time of need. I said, or the real reason is that's just a cover, and your real reason is because the New World Order's coming here, and you want to have a force to fight the New World Order. And his eyes kind of got a gleam in him, but he goes, and he didn't say anything, right? I said, either way, you're fooling yourself. He didn't like that. See, people don't like it when you tell them things that they don't want to hear. And he looks at me and I said, look, here's the deal. Law enforcement is never going to call on you. Well, we have 2 sheriff's deputies that train with us now. I'm sure you do. And I'm sure you have a couple federal agents that are, known as Joe Bob that are in there too, or at least informants for the federal agencies. I said, dude, they're never going to call on you. They'll call on the Red Cross before they call on you to come help them. Am I wrong? No, I'm not. I said, number 2, if you think you are fighting the New World Order, and the New World Order is going to come do the hammer strike on America and take us over, do you think that right before they do that, since they know who you are because you're standing here and, you've got your uniform on and they know who all your guys are, and I mean, if they're smart enough to take over the world, they're smart enough to know where you live and who your friends are. I said, do you think they might take you out first? Well, we have plans for that. And I said, no, you don't. Because, see, this is the part where I know about kicking indoors at 2 o'clock in the morning. Dude, you're fooling yourself. You don't have plans for that. So I always ask myself, and I'm asking you to ask yourself, to what end? Look at what you're doing, look at what they are doing, and ask yourself, to what end? Example, Jade Helm. I'm getting, just about half of the, more than half of the comments. I get about half likes and dislikes on it, but more than half of the comments are, you're a liar, you're a paid shill, you're this, that, and everything. Okay, whatever, fine. That's good. Believe that. To what end, then, is this Jade Helm exercise, if I'm wrong? Because let me just reiterate, I do not think it's a martial law thing. Somebody said on my martial law video, I thought you said that martial law wasn't possible. Martial law over the entire country is not possible. Martial law is certainly possible in areas, okay? I doubt it's possible in an area as big as Jade Helm is encompassing. Don't go off on tangents on that. Focus on this, please. To what end is Jade Helm being conducted, if I'm wrong, and it's not an exercise, which it is? Is it to initiate martial law? Okay, I'll just tell you, as a guy who worked with special ops for 17 of my 20 years, they're not really the guys you want to use for martial law. We don't use Green Berets, Navy SEALs for martial law. It's a misuse of resources. Are they there to snatch the leaders of the resistance? They're going to all do it, okay. If that's the end, to what end that is happening, and they're all going to come in there and grab the spokesman, there's two problems there. Number one, a lot of the people who made comments on my video, if this were true, would be perceived as those kind of people, and they'd be snatched at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Boop, they'd disappear. Number two, why would they tell you about it first? SWAT teams don't typically call you up and say, hey, tomorrow night about 4:30 in the morning, we're going to show up at your place, so please be asleep. They wouldn't tell you. They're hiding in plain sight. Okay, again, to what end? Because now you know they're coming. So if you think that it's that it's going to be martial law, or that they're going to come snatch people, or I've even heard they're going to take guns, they're having it in Texas. I've been to Texas many times. Other than Austin, there's a whole lot of guns in Texas, and little 12-man A-teams aren't going to be taking a whole lot of guns. Okay? Just saying. I know. There you go, laughing again. It's not funny. I think it is funny, the way some people think. But let's say that you truly do believe still, despite what I've told you, that either they're going to enact martial law, or they're going to come take guns, or I don't know. I don't think I've heard this one, but they're a pilot team for a New World Order invasion force, something. I'll tell you a funny story about that in another video. I asked in a video, Jade Helm, what you going to do? And nobody answered it. And I don't really need you to answer it. Dude, well, we've got a plan to... Obviously, I don't care, but I want you to ask yourself, what are you going to do about it besides sitting there and... Because if honestly, if I thought martial law was coming to this area right here in July, I'd be selling my house now. It would be up for sale. If I really did believe this house right here would be up for sale. And I would be long gone out of here well before July 15th, which is when this exercise kicks off. I'd move because I don't want to be where martial law is. If I had the mind to resist, and I was planning on resisting this martial law thing that I truly believed was happening, number one, I wouldn't be saying a darn thing about it on the internet. Zip, nothing. I'd be waving the American flag, right? And two, dude, I'd be getting ready to fight. I'd have positions dug and, teams ready and crossroads, and nobody's doing that, right? If I thought it was the New World Order coming, again, if I thought it was any kind of military thing coming, honestly, Pastor Joe Fox would get the heck out of the way, because despite these fantasies that some people have about, I'm going to go to the woods and fight a modern army, no, you're not. Unless you have an organization, that's this big, and quite frankly, if you tried to have an organization right now that big, they would know, right? So again, to what end? Right? To what end? To what end are y'all, the people who are spinning their wheels up and getting emotionally excited and upset and angry and cursing on, to me, which, again, I've heard all the words, so, whatever. To what end are you going through this? Because what I would really rather see you do is get ready for it. Honest to God, I would, because I don't think anything's happening. But if you get ready for this, you'll be ready for something else that is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that stuff's going to happen. You know, I read the Bible. I can see what's coming down the pike. And so, yeah, eventually you're going to need to be prepared to, take care of you and yours, or flee, or whatever. But you're going to have taken steps. You're going to have been proactive and done things. One of the 7 habits of highly effective people is see the end from the beginning. You know, visualize it, see where you want to go, and then start working on it. Be proactive. Go start doing things instead of talking about it. And so seriously, with all preparedness, you know, Y2K or the volcano in Yellowstone or this thing, Canary Islands, tidal wave to the East Coast or whatever. Okay, cool. It's good to be aware, but at a certain point, you got to put awareness over here on a shelf. You don't put it away, but you put it on a shelf and you start working on doing stuff. You know, start storing up food. Go ahead, get, weapons and ammo. I don't care. Store water. Get water, get a means to get more water. Right now, once you ran out of your last bottle of water in your house and there's nothing coming out of the tap, where are you going to get water? Well, I have this idea. Okay, what steps have you taken to enact that idea? There's a pond a quarter mile away. Do you have like a yoke with little buckets that you can go down there and carry water? I don't know, but you should take steps to further your plan. If you really do believe that weird things are coming, that bad times are coming, I encourage you heavily to get ready for them. Do more than talk. Do more than emote. Start thinking and then acting. Ask yourself, to what end? All right, I'll see you out there.